Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Bachelor Nation News Fans. Here is a fact-based summary of the story contents. Here is a simplified version of the story contents. Here is a lighthearted take on the story contents. She may have gone on Bachelor in Paradise Season 10 to find love, but one cast member made some very bad decisions that means she'll definitely be going home in Episode 3. Bachelor in Paradise Season 10 has a similar game setup to Love Island USA. If a cast member isn't coupled up with someone at the end of a rose ceremony, they are sent home. This season is even more similar to Love Island USA, in that the winning duo will get a cash prize, according to Reality Steve. With more than love on the line, this season the ABC show definitely has a game element to it. Unfortunately for one Bachelor in Paradise Season 10 cast member, her inability to play the game means she's almost guaranteed to go home without love or money. Zoe McGrady tried to make a connection with two different men on Bachelor in Paradise Season 10, Brian Otts and Dale Moss. Dale didn't reciprocate Zoe's interest, so she threw all of her eggs into Brian's basket. Brian, on the other hand, didn't want to jump to an exclusive relationship with Zoe. When Brian connected with Parisa Shiftek and stopped building his connection with Zoe, she freaked out. Zoe knew the men had the power to send people home that week, yet she picked a fight with Brian, angering him. She could have tried to salvage the connection. Instead, she basically bought her plane ticket home. Zoe McGrady didn't cast a wide enough net. Zoe, to her credit, didn't try to force connections with people just to stay on Bachelor in Paradise Season 10. Unfortunately, that means she'll almost certainly be going home. Brian could only give a rose to one woman, and he understandably chose Parisa over Zoe. Since Dale chose Kat Izzo, Zoe didn't have anyone else willing to save her. If Zoe had tried harder to make connections with the other men on the show, she may have been able to buy herself a little time to find a lasting love. After all, new people join the cast during each episode. Zoe's unwillingness to play the game may have cost her love and money. Zoe McGrady is likely going home. Bachelor in Paradise Season 10, Episode 3 left on a cliffhanger. We don't yet know exactly who went home after Justin Glaze gave his rose to Susie Evans, his ex. However, we can assume Zoe will be on the next flight out of Costa Rica. Zoe may have had good intentions, but she played the game or prison. The sun was setting on another dramatic week in Bachelor in Paradise Season 10. The waves lapped gently at the shore, but there was tension in the air thicker than the island humidity. Kat Izzo lounged under a palm tree, sipping a mango margarita, while behind her, whispers of betrayal were already beginning to circulate. Jeremy Simon had just returned from a date with new arrival Brianna Delgado, a fan favorite from The Bachelor Season 28, and it didn't go unnoticed that he was holding her hand as they walked back into camp. What did go unnoticed, or so he thought, was the seething look on Jess Edwards' face. Jess had been in a solid maybe situationship with Jeremy for the past 2 weeks, and while he had made no concrete promises, he certainly hadn't mentioned going on dates with other women. Did he seriously bring her back holding hands? Jess muttered to Kat, her voice laced with venom. Kat smirked. Girl, men on this beach don't deserve coconut water, let alone 2 women fighting over them. But someone else was watching, someone whose journey was about to take an unexpected, career-defining nosedive, Chase Donnelly. The rise and fake shine of Chase Donnelly. Chase Donnelly came in hot during week 2. Tall, tan, and with a blinding white smile, he was the season's late arrival who made waves the second his feet hit the sand. A former semi-finalist on Charity Lawson's Bachelorette season, Chase had spent the past year becoming a lifestyle influencer, posting shirtless photos with protein shakes, motivational quotes, and a pet iguana named Bronx. He had charm, he had followers, he had options, but what he didn't have? Genuine connections. The first week he flirted with Katie, then with Sierra, and then, shockingly, made out with Olivia in the ocean after midnight. But none of it stuck. They're all amazing, Chase had said in a confessional, but I'm just not feeling the one yet, you know? That excuse didn't go over well with the cast. People were starting to talk. And by people, we mean everyone. Whispers and warnings. You see the way he talks to production? Will gasped, sipping a mimosa as he lay beside Davia. He thinks he's the Bachelor already, Davia replied. I heard he brought his own lighting guy for selfies. They both laughed, but it was nervous laughter. Because something was shifting in Paradise. A storm was coming, not a tropical one, but a social one. Chase had inserted himself into every couple's business. He told Dale that Kat wasn't being honest. He told Jess that Jeremy definitely said he wasn't serious about her. He even tried to steal a kiss from Brianna the same night she returned from her date with Jeremy. That's when the tide turned. The cast decided Chase was stirring the pot, and not in the fun reality TV gold kind of way. He was manipulating, he was calculating, and he had no intention of settling down. The cocktail party chaos. The vibe at the cocktail party was off. Producers whispered to each other, camera operators followed Jess like hawks, and Chase strutted around like he had just won Dancing with the Stars. I'm just saying, Chase said to Sierra as the group gathered around the bonfire. If people are threatened by confidence, that's on them. Jess turned, fire in her eyes. Confidence? Or is it gaslighting wrapped in an Instagram filter? The entire beach fell silent. Chase scoffed. Okay, now we're just being dramatic. Kat raised an eyebrow. No, dramatic is flying in an assistant to steam your shirts on day 3. Even the bartender, Wells Adams, choked on his drink. Chase stood, unbothered, or so it seemed. But for the first time, his face cracked slightly. I came here looking for real love, he said with theatrical emotion, looking into the camera like he was filming a fragrance commercial, not jealousy and petty gossip. No one bought it, except maybe himself. The rose ceremony sting. When host Jesse Palmer entered with that classic smirk and signature line, "Ladies, it's time for the rose ceremony," everyone knew what was coming. The men had the roses this week, but no one wanted to give one to Chase. Dale, already taken by Kat. Jeremy, too entangled with Jess and Brianna. Will, loyal to Davia. Aaron, dating Sierra. Tanner, off the market with Olivia. That left one wild card, Blake, the quiet newbie who hadn't quite made his move yet. As the roses were handed out one by one, Chase began to sweat. He looked to Blake. Blake looked away. Finally, it was down to Blake's rose and 2 people left without one, Chase and Britannet R., the soft-spoken sweetheart who had barely any screen time all season. Everyone held their breath. And then Blake said, "Britannie, will you accept this rose?" Applause, cheers, tears, except from one. Chase stood frozen, jaw clenched. And that's when Jesse made the announcement fans had been dying to hear. Chase, I'm sorry, but your time in Paradise is over. The exit. I think people were intimidated by my energy, Chase told producers during his exit interview. They knew I was here for the right reasons, and maybe that scared them. Maybe it's their loss. Twitter lit up like wildfire. Memes exploded. #BuyChase trended globally. Viewers were divided. Some said, good riddance. Others joked, he'll be back next season as the bartender's assistant. And a few conspiracy theorists swore Chase orchestrated his own exit to secure a better influencer deal. Either way, the cast had spoken. Chase Donnelly was absolutely going home, and next week came faster than he expected. Post-Paradise Bombshell. A week after his exit, Chase posted a 17-minute Instagram Live. Wearing sunglasses, shirtless as usual, and lounging poolside in Miami, he began. I want to clear the air. A lot of things were taken out of context. I wasn't there to start drama. I was there to find someone who matched my vibe, my ambition, my branding. That didn't happen, but you'll be seeing more of me. Trust that. Cut to commercial break. Except this time, the commercial was his own, a launch for his new wellness line, Vibe Aligned by Chase. Fans weren't buying it. Even former contestants chimed in. Olivia posted a cryptic TikTok. POV when the guy who said he loved you calls you a stepping stone on a podcast. Kat commented, LMA. Jess simply tweeted, good luck to the next beach he washes up on. The real villain. While Chase took the heat, others quietly benefited from the spotlight. Jeremy and Brianna grew closer. Jess started a new flirtation with Tanner. Kat and Dale were still going strong, publicly at least. But behind the scenes, rumor had it that producers were already prepping a redemption arc for Chase. A leaked email suggested he was in talks for a spin-off web series titled Paradise Rebooted. But fan backlash was too strong. Sponsors pulled out. The project died quietly. And Chase? Well, he faded for a while. Until a mystery woman posted a now viral TikTok. This Bachelor in Paradise cast member ghosted me and then tried to date my sister. And who was the mystery man in question? You guessed it. The final rose and thorns. Back on the beach, as waves crashed and hearts mended, the remaining contestants toasted to a drama-free future. We did it, Will said. No more chaos, Brianna added. Peace at last, Kat sighed. But as the camera panned out, a new silhouette appeared at the end of the beach. A late arrival, someone unexpected, someone who had history. Was it Chase? No, worse. It was Carson, the notorious villain from The Bachelorette Canada. Kat choked on her mimosa. Jess whispered, "Here we go again." To be continued.